Hello, everyone. A busy Tuesday. I'm Chris Thomas.
I'm Laura Painter. Great to have you here. Thanks so much for joining us.
Well, we start tonight with this. A Roseville mother and her ex-boyfriend are now charged with murder and torture in the death of a 7-year-old girl. Prosecutors say the abuse happened for months and involved 2 young sisters. ABC 10's Nazi Javid breaks down the charges and court documents and what the DA says comes next.
As a human being and as a parent, you are horrified.
It's been 2 weeks since investigators say a 7-year-old girl was found unresponsive inside a Roseville home, later dying at the hospital. Her 5-year-old sister survived.
At this point, there's a total of 3 charges. There's the murder charge, along with a torture charge for the deceased victim, and then a torture charge for a second surviving victim.
Placer County District Attorney Morgan Geyer says the child's mother, Jessica Savansky, and her ex-boyfriend, Rediquel Dupree, are charged together and were arraigned Monday. According to the felony complaint, prosecutors allege the defendants inflicted great bodily injury with, quote, the intent to cause cruel and extreme pain and suffering for the purposes of revenge, extortion, persuasion, and for a sadistic purpose.
It reflects the way in which the death was carried out, and it reflects certain sort of assaultive behavior that led up to the death of the victim.
Court records allege the abuse spanned nearly 7 months from June through December and involved both children. Both defendants spoke from jail previously, each blaming the other.
I've never seen Addie like that. She had raccoon eyes. It looked crazy, like her teeth would clench.
Dupree claims Savansky harmed her children. Savansky admitted to her role to ABC10's Jeannie Nguyen, but alleges Dupree also took part.
My ex was also beating on my kids too. He said, this is gonna, because my daughter, she had autism, so he was like, oh, she's hecka bad, look at my kids. I discipline my kids. My kids aren't bad because I did at a young age. He was like, you just baby your kids, this and that. I was like, but my daughter has special needs.
But the district attorney says both are responsible.
We believe we can prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt against both individuals for the crimes that we've alleged at this point.
Geyer also confirms the 5-year-old harmed, Amelia, is now safe.
The surviving victim is in stable condition. These are heartbreaking cases on every level, and we try our best to keep our eye on holding them accountable for what they've done.
I should have protected my kids better as a mom, but what's already done is done.
That was ABC10's Nazi Javid reporting. Both defendants remain in custody without bail. Their next court date is February 24th. The assistant public defender declined to comment. Well, the National Republican Congressional Committee confirming that Congressman Doug LaMalfa has died at the age of 65.
The Butte County Sheriff's Office tells us they transported LaMalfa to Enloe Hospital in Chico last night for a medical emergency. They say upon arrival, Congressman LaMalfa was taken into emergency surgery, where he died. The Butte County coroner is now working to determine the exact cause of death, and deputies say that will include an autopsy with a forensic pathologist.
LaMalfa got his start in politics at the California state capitol, first being elected to the legislature in 2002 before winning his seat for Congress in 2013. He was a fourth-generation rice farmer and longtime advocate for the agricultural community. He represented California's 1st district, representing counties including Shasta and Siskiyou County.
Today, flags were flown at half-staff for the Reading congressman. You can see here flags at the White House and the state capitol lowered in Representative LaMalfa's honor. Republican Senator Tony Strickland served with Doug LaMalfa when both men were serving in the legislature. Strickland called LaMalfa a good legislator and an even better person. The two had a very close relationship. We talked with Senator Strickland and the California GOP chairwoman about their reaction to the congressman's passing, as well as the political implications.
He was Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. He was a rice farmer. He really fought for rural California. We talked as recently about a week ago about him continuing to run for a fight for rural California and run for re-election even after the Prop 50 news came out.
This loss is it's devastating for us. He was doing an amazing job getting to know his new constituents. The politics are going to happen.
Recently, the congressman had been outspoken in opposing Proposition 50, the state's temporary redrawing of its congressional maps to give Democrats a 5-seat advantage. Prop 50 passed and redrew LaMalfa's district, though he was adamant about running for re-election.
Democratic lawmakers are also reacting to his passing. Congresswoman Doris Matsui praising his commitment to water and forest issues. In a statement, she says, quote, while we often disagreed, we never disagreed on the core principle that we are here to serve our constituents. He was genuine, straightforward, and always himself. I will miss him as a colleague and a friend. My loving sympathies go out to his wife, Jill, and family. Solano County Democratic Congressman John Garamendi reflected on his relationship with LaMalfa, saying, quote, together for a decade, we represented the great Sacramento Valley, where I was proud to work with him on several bipartisan pieces of legislation in the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee to secure critical water infrastructure investments, advocate for California farmers, and safeguard the Sacramento River watershed. ABC10 has followed his career and spoken with him several times throughout the years. ABC10's Alex Bell even visited him at his ranch just a few months ago.
Yeah, and she joins us in studio right now to talk about that experience with the congressman. It's so great to have you here to talk about your experience. I know you went out to his ranch not too long ago, and you got to really know him on his own home turf. He really loved the rural parts of California. Tell us about that experience, and what did you take away from it?
It was a very unique experience. Typically when we're talking to, legislators, usually it's at the Capitol or here at the studio. But It was really nice to be in his own backyard. And I will say this, we've talked to a lot of politicians, and typically, like, you know, when you talk to them off camera, they're very warm and inviting, and then they get on camera and it's almost like this persona comes on. Not with Doug LaMalfa. Who he was off camera is the exact man that he was on camera. That's something that I really respected about him, because he just said it like it was and he did not mix words. And he, I think, was really known, not just in his hometown, but also at the Capitol, for just being a really nice, relatable, warm guy.
And I do think that's why many people in the area felt a deep and strong personal connection to him. Talk about why he resonated so deeply with his community. I think it has something to do with the fact that he always did keep it real.
He did. And look, he was a fourth-generation rice farmer, a father, a grandfather. I mean, people really there did not think of him as a congressman or representative. They thought of him as Doug. I would ask people, like, hey, what do you think that, you know, how is Doug doing? Like, what, you know, what does his job look like? Is he doing a good job? And a lot of people are like, oh yeah, Doug, we love Doug. Like, first name basis, not Congressman LaMalfa. I mean, people really saw themselves in him because he was a farmer. And I think that that was really important to a lot of people, especially on a lot of the policy issues that he particularly stood for in that area.
A farmer at heart, right?
Yes.
And
Oh,
very
to the
relatable
core.
his community.
Yes.
Yes. Now, I saw at the end of your interview, there was this meaningful moment when he gave you something. So can you tell us more about that and what it represented for you?
Yes. So obviously we were out there talking about Proposition 50 and a lot of other issues that were happening. And look, we really pressed him on a lot of things. We were out there for hours. We had spent days just in the community for Proposition 50. And I really grilled him on a lot of things. At the end of the interview, though, he was putting up some no on Prop 50 signs, and we were kind of wrapping things up. And he goes, okay, well, let me give you one of these. And I was like, what could he possibly be giving me? And he gave me a hug. And I think that that just really speaks to him as a person, and him just saying, look, I'm not going to share a whole conversation of what he said, but he said, I really respect you. I really respect you being here, and thank you for doing what you do. And I just thought that that really spoke to who he was.
Thank you for sharing your perspective and insight on Doug LaMalfa, the man, the congressman, and
the farmer.
We appreciate you, the farmer, as well. Alex Bell, thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll have continuing coverage of Congressman LaMalfa's death here on our ABC10 streaming app, and more reaction from Democrat and Republican lawmakers on our website, abc10.com. Coming up, today marks 5 years since the January 6 attack at the U.S. Capitol, and the Trump administration says it was a peaceful protest.
Plus, affordable housing is on the mind of many, and the debate over how to bring down the cost of housing is heating up.
After a brief break in the wet weather, tracking our next midweek weather system moving through with more rain and snow in the forecast.
Well, it is the 5-year anniversary of the attack at the Capitol, and the White House is now accusing Capitol Police of escalating tensions that day.
The Trump administration claims the deadly attack was nothing more than a peaceful protest. ABC's Perry Russum has the details tonight.
On the 5th anniversary of the deadly attack at the Capitol, the Trump administration is attempting to rewrite history. A new page on the White House's official website mischaracterizes some of the day's events, from alleging protester Ashley Babbitt was murdered in cold blood and posed no threat trying to climb through a barricaded door, to accusing the Capitol Police of escalating tensions. Winston P. Jones is a former U.S. Capitol police officer.
5 years ago today, I was called a traitor, violently assaulted in the line of duty, punched in the face, pepper sprayed, and thought, I'm going to die here on the steps of the U.S. Capitol.
House Democrats today holding unofficial hearings they say sets the record straight. On Trump's first day back in office, he issued sweeping pardons and commutations for more than 1,500 January 6 defendants.
You refused Donald Trump's pardon. Why?
Because it was a lie. January 6th was an insurrection.
After storming the Capitol, Pam Hemphill pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge and was sentenced to 60 days in prison.
I am guilty, and I own that guilt.
Former leader of the Proud Boys, Enrique Tarrio, was pardoned by Trump after being convicted of seditious conspiracy. He called for a peaceful march today in memory of Ashley Babbitt, who was shot and killed by police inside the Capitol.
A year ago, exactly a year ago, many of us were sitting in a jail cell trying to figure out if we were going to get pardoned or not. We did trust the president, but, when you're in there, you have to think about it.
During that demonstration, dozens of people marched to the Capitol pushing conspiracy theories about what happened 5 years ago. They were met by counter-protesters. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
And now to state matters. If there's a word repeated over and over in recent months by lawmakers, it's affordability. But under that umbrella term is affordable housing. And the debate over how to bring down the cost of housing is heating up. The Senate Housing Committee met today for the first time this session, taking up a proposal that would place a bond measure on the November 2026 ballot to authorize $10 billion toward affordable housing. After heated discussion, the bill is moving forward with 8 yes votes, 1 no vote, and 1 abstention, the latter two by the 2 Republican members of the committee.
We don't have enough housing, and we've done a lot to streamline housing. We've done a lot to make more sites available for housing. Now we got to follow it up and finish the job by putting the dollars behind to make sure it gets built.
These are projects that are shovel ready. We just need that little bit of money to get these projects built.
But there was pushback from the Republicans on the committee, warning that another bond could add even more to the state's debt, all as California stares down an $18 billion budget deficit. The proposal needs the legislature and the governor's approval by June. Then it can be placed on the November ballot, giving voters the final say.
Next at 5:30, this week marks 1 year since the devastating wildfires in LA. How the community is rebuilding.
Testing mic 3, 1, 2, 3. Testing mic 3, 1, 2, 3. Testing mic 3, 1, 2, 3. Testing mic 3.
Tomorrow marks 1 year since the devastating fires in LA County, and many residents are still displaced from their homes. The Palisades and Eaton fires burned more than 37,000 acres and killed 31 people. Homes, schools, and businesses were destroyed. This week, the community is holding a number of events to honor the victims. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods now with a look at what to expect in our area weather-wise. Monica, what are you seeing?
Okay, so the three things that we're going to continue to track for the next several days. Tomorrow, we've got light showers making a return to the forecast, fog and frost. Also in our outlook as we dig deeper into the week and weekend. Bigger dry stretch coming our way and warmer weather as well. A little touch of the weak weather system starting to press our way right now. The evidence of some cloud cover, and that's going to increase for tonight through tomorrow. We're already well ahead of pace of where we should be this time of year. The month off to a big start, over 1.5 inches ahead of what we normally see at this point in the month, and we're almost 3 inches ahead of normal for our water year as well. So we've seen a couple of months here that have really started to tip the scales into a wetter than average weather situation. Highs for today in the 60s up and down the valley, 50s for the foothills, and near 40 for the Sierra. Live look outside, we've got mostly clear skies with readings in the 50s. Tahoe right now at 29 degrees. We've got the Kings back in action. Not until 8 o'clock tonight, though. It's against the Mavericks, and we'll see dry conditions, but keep those umbrellas handy. We're going to pick up a little bit of precipitation coming in for tomorrow. Less than 1/10 of an inch of rain for the foothills and a couple of inches of snow for the Sierra. That can certainly snarl traffic, though, so just be aware as this weather system starts to press our way. Overnight tonight, we'll increase the cloud cover and then a few light showers just before the morning commute. Snow showers will continue to be on and off through the day. We get another little pulse of moisture coming our way deep in the afternoon into the evening, and that's going to give us additional precipitation, mostly for the foothills and for the Sierra, before everything starts to clear out and start to warm up during the afternoon. But those overnights are going to be quite cold with patchy frost. Highs in the 30s tomorrow for the Sierra, with 40s and 50s down the hill. Across the coast, we're looking at highs in the 50s to near 60. Again, a few light showers passing through periodically into our Wednesday forecast, so keep those umbrellas handy. Not a total washout by any means, just another little weak weather system pressing our way, and then we're back to the dry weather. But you'll see in the wake of that cold front moving through, highs are only going to be in the upper 20s on Thursday for this year, and we'll also see chilly conditions for the valley. Cooler air masses of patchy frost and fog heading our way by Friday through the weekend, dry and warmer next week.
Ooh, we like the sound of that. Monica, thank you. We're back after this.
Coming up new tonight on the news at 6, after those damaging king tides in the Bay Area, are these flooding events the new normal? Coming up at 6, what climate change could mean for coastal communities and if some areas could become unlivable in the years ahead.
Before we go, we want to wish a happy birthday to the Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, the popular game show premiered on January 6th, 1975, making it 51 years old.
Yeah, it was created by TV legend Merv Griffin. Pat Sajak and Vanna White started hosting it in the early 1980s and became some of the most popular hosts in the history of game shows. I agree.
Yeah, the show has become one of the longest running syndicated game shows in American TV history. And of course, one of the most popular TV shows in the world. The show has aired, listen to this, more than 6,500 episodes. And of course, it is now hosted by Ryan Seacrest, and you can watch it on ABC10, of course. We always look forward to the show. I tell you what, I don't know how well I would do on that show, though. I'm not fast enough, you know what I mean?
That's the thing. My dad auditioned back in the 80s or 90s. I was still really small. He auditioned for it, but he could never finish the puzzles in time. So we never saw him on TV.
I'm always there after the fact, like, oh yeah, that was it.
Yes, we need a little more extra seconds, right? Thanks for joining us. Watch us anytime on the ABC10 app.